But we begin with Mary Bruce at the White House and Ian Pannell in Kiev. Good morning to you, Ian.
Yeah, good morning, Martha. That's right. So what we're seeing on the ground is more of these unsubstantiated claims of Ukrainian attacks in the east of the country. This is a pattern that we've really been seeing evolving over the last few days, and now saying that there have been attacks by Ukrainian paratroopers. But there's also has been increased shelling on this potential flashpoint in the east of the country. The OSCE, the Organisation for Security and Cooperation in Europe, recording a more than five-fold increase in ceasefire violations over the last day compared to the average day in 2021. Meanwhile, we're seeing the rebels mobilising fighting-age men. They're evacuating women, children and the elderly in advance of what they say is going to be this all-out Ukrainian assault. Of course, they provided no evidence, but this is about placating and playing to domestic opinion, not just in the rebel-held east, but also in Moscow. Putin, the Kremlin, falsely claiming that Russian speakers in the east are facing genocide, but this is really about trying to soften that public opinion. And as you say, American officials adamant that this is definitely coming. Martha?
And Ian, with the tensions already this high, Vladimir Putin personally oversaw these massive drills of Russia's nuclear forces yesterday, reminding the world of his country's nuclear might.
Yes, that's right. Perhaps also seen as a warning of the kind of threats that could be brought to bear if anyone tries to interfere in what he sees as his sphere of influence. We're seeing, as you say, Russia test firing this nuclear-capable ballistic missile, firing weapons from the ground, air and sea. And, of course, we've also got those war games underway in Belarus, and we've seen war games take place in other parts of the country. Now, despite all of this hype, you know that the Ukrainian government here still feels that this is a play by Putin. This is about applying maximum effort to try and extract concessions from the government here in Ukraine, potentially from NATO and the Biden administration. And the diplomacy, although it feels like those days are waning, it isn't dead yet. President Macron of France speaking with Vladimir Putin earlier this morning. He's now on the phone with President Zelensky of Ukraine. People are certainly trying to revive some kind of process to try and keep peace alive, while really the drumbeats of war are banging loud. Martha.
Okay, thanks very much, Ian. Now let's go to Mary Bruce at the White House. And Mary, President Biden said in no uncertain terms Vladimir Putin is set to invade, but there's still room for diplomacy. That seems like a disconnect.
It does, but the White House is intent on trying to pursue these two paths here. On the one hand, trying to call out Putin, going public with this intelligence. The president going that step further, saying he is confident and convinced that Putin has decided to invade, while at the same time trying to convey to Putin that it's not too late, imploring him that he can still pursue diplomacy here. Now, here at the White House, we're told the president is closely monitoring this situation. He's been receiving regular briefings and updates on events on the ground. And later today, the president himself will personally lead a rare meeting here at the White House with his top national security advisors. But we're told, based on the latest intelligence, based on what they're seeing on the ground, this attack could still happen at any moment. Martha.
And Mary, of course, the White House has now made specific predictions about the timing and the course of the Russian invasion, despite the obvious risk to American credibility. They could be wrong.
They could, and quite honestly, they hope they are wrong. Look, they are hoping that Putin will be persuaded somehow still not to go through with this. But the White House has been incredibly transparent here. It really is a remarkable, astounding strategy for this administration. They have been pulling back the curtain on U.S. intelligence at every step along the way, trying to call out Putin, trying to share what they know, the details about his apparent attempt to build a case for war, trying to call out the misinformation and the lies about Putin's playbook to justify an invasion. It's all really an attempt to try and beat Putin at his own game, Martha.
Thanks so much, Mary. Mary Bruce at the White House.